For 2023, Mr. Price yearly wages was $138,838.
You and I both know that you make a lot more money than that. No, you don't get to tell me to hold on, Mr. Price. I'm the judge. I get to tell you to hold on. This is in the 317th District Court of Jefferson County, Texas. It's in the interest of Kelvin James Price, Jr. Ms. Brown-Zito, this appears to be a motion to modify and a motion to confirm that you filed back in November of 2023.
Yes, Your Honor. This time I would.
The court will take, I'm sorry, Ms. Brown-Zito, the court will take judicial notice of its own file, which includes the controlling support. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would call Ms. Limrick.
Ms. Limrick, what is your full name?
Nikita Shanette Limrick.
When did you know that you were the father of Cabry?
When did I know? After I got the DNA test, I knew for sure that Cabry was my daughter. I didn't sign the birth certificate. I had a question mark about it.
And he's going to pay child support in the amount of $1,668 per month.
And we're here today to talk about your child, Kelvin. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And who is his father?
Kelvin James Price Sr.
And back in November of 2018, was Mr. Price ordered to pay child support on Kelvin Jr.?
Yes.
And was he also ordered to keep health insurance at that time as well?
Yes, ma'am.
And has he, as far as child support, has he gotten just a little bit behind?
Yes, but he always catch up.
Right. Your Honor, at this time I would offer the pay record in this case as Exhibit A.
Ms. Limbrick, I've just placed on the screen a copy of the alleged pay record between you and Mr. Price. Is it okay if I take a look at this pay record?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Same question, Mr. Price. May I look at your pay record?
Yes, sir.
States Exhibit A is admitted into evidence.
Now, Ms. Limbrick, have things changed in the last 6 years with Mr. Price? Is he working at a different company?
Not that I'm aware of.
But does he seem to be making more money?
I didn't know until now.
Child support back in the court order was ordered at $900 a month. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I would pass this witness.
Call your next witness.
Thank you. This time I will call Mr. Price. Will you please state your name?
Kelvin James Price Sr.
Mr. Price, do you have any other minor children?
No.
And where do you work?
West Rock.
How long have you worked there?
9 years.
Okay. And are you making more money now than you made back in 2018?
Approximately about $3 more.
So how much do you make an hour?
$39.34.
Do you work 40 hours a week?
We have a 36-hour week and a 48-hour week, so kind of balance out.
Do you work overtime?
Yes, when we were short, I do, but we're fully staffed now, so it's not really any overtime they're giving.
Do you have insurance available for your child?
Yes.
And how much does it cost you for medical insurance for Kelvin Jr.?
It's like 800 and something.
Did you give all of that information to Ms. Veazey?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so she has the exact number.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you also pay for dental insurance, or is that included with the medical?
Dental insurance also.
Do you know how much you pay on that a month?
I think it's 20 or 30 bucks. I think it is.
And is that per month or per paycheck?
Per month, I think.
Okay. And do you have any other individuals on that dental insurance, or is it just you and Kelvin Jr.?
It's just me and him. If it was just me, then the company pays for it. But
for your dental?
Yeah, they pay for. If it was just me, they would pay for all my medical, dental, and vision.
Okay.
But him, then that's what it costs me.
So this cost is exactly what it costs for.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And you gave that information to Ms. Veazey as well? Your Honor, I would pass this witness.
Call your next witness.
I would call Ms. Veazey. Will you please state your name?
Yolanda Vise,
And where do you work?
Office of the Attorney General, Child Support Division.
And how long have you worked there?
5 years come November.
And in the capacity that you work there, do you have the occasion to review wages of our customers?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you do so in this case?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay. And do you have an exact number for how much medical cost Mr. Price for Kelvin Jr.?
Yes, ma'am.
How much?
Mr. Price is paying $856.74 a month for medical insurance for their son.
Okay. And do you know how much he's paying for dental?
Dental is $29.34.
$29.34. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, do you have wages for at least the last 4 quarters?
Yes, ma'am. For 2023, Mr. Price yearly wages was $138,838.
Was that even?
Correct. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
And how much do you make in the fourth quarter?
Fourth quarter, he made $35,217.28.
And the third quarter?
$34,926.38.
The second quarter?
$30,558.18.
And how much for the first quarter?
$38,136.84.
And what does that come to a gross monthly average?
Gross monthly, combined together, $11,569 a month.
So in the child support review order,
Mhm.
that was actually reviewed back in October. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Price wasn't served until December, so it should actually start in January, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's my discretion. Mr.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
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 sir.
Your Honor.
I'm
That's
sorry,
okay,
Judge.
Ms. Vega.
I was
That's
just
fine.
bringing that to the forefront, Your Honor. And the child support figured in there dealt with a quarter of 22. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, yes, ma'am, it did.
So
Due
that's
to
the difference between your calculations and the calculations in the child support review order. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I would pass this witness.
Ms. Vega, you got any wage information on Mr. Price for 2022?
Yes, sir, I do.
What's your gross yearly for 2022?
Let me pull that for you really quick. The gross yearly for 2022.
Take your time. I'll make sure it's
Yes,
right.
sir. Yes, sir. Gross yearly, Judge, is $112,772.20.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Vega, did Mr. Price provide you with any paycheck stubs for 2024?
What he did provide, I can pull that in for you. I'm sorry, just one.
I mean, we're in
second.
April. I don't imagine you've gotten anything from the employer for 2024 yet, right?
No, sir, not as of yet. And he told me that he did not have any current check stubs when I spoke to him on today. But at the time of his conference,
Yeah, but
he
that was last
yes,
year,
sir.
right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You're trying to be helpful. That's important. Mr. Price, do you have any current paycheck stubs?
Yes, I actually, while we was waiting to come on, I actually looked on my email and saved some pictures from my check stub.
All right, well, you look at the latest check stub that you have. When you have it in front of you, let me know.
This will be, this is 410.
So you got a paycheck, hold on. You got a paycheck stub from April the 10th?
Yes, sir.
Does that paycheck stub have something called a year-to-date gross on it?
Yes, sir.
What is the year-to-date gross on your paycheck stub, Mr. Price?
Year-to-date total gross is $42,650.79.
Thank you, sir. And there might also be on your check stub that says pay period as of. Does it have one of those on there? Your check was issued on April the 10th, but it's probably for a period of time just prior to that.
Yes, it's from, well, it just got the beginning dates and the ending dates.
What's your end date?
The end date is the 7th.
So April the 7th.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Hold on, I got some more questions, but I got to do some math, and if I don't focus on it, I'm old, and so my math will be sideways.
Okay.
All right, so let's see. That's going to be all right. Miss Limrick, you have any questions about this case before I make a ruling?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Price.
Yes, sir.
This is what I believe. I believe that it's my job to be fair with people. And I believe it's my job to explain stuff to people when they don't quite exactly understand the processes that the Attorney General's office takes. You told me when this hearing started that you make $39.34 an hour. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. You and I both know that you make a lot more money than that.
Well, a lot of it is when I set up into the next job,
Mhm.
you know, I get
Right.
a different pay rate.
Right.
It's normally about I think it's $40 and something cent.
Let
But
me
that's not all the time that
Right.
I
But
spend.
let me see if I can explain something to you, and that might help you with how this kind of works. When I take a look at how I determine what your child support is supposed to be set at, I'm supposed to look at a history of your wages. Okay.
Mhm.
And here's the history of your wages. Hold on one second. So this is the history of your wages, Mr. Price. In 2022, you were netting you were grossing about $9,400 a month. That's what you grossed in 2022. In 2023, your pay jumped up and you were grossing over $13,000 a month. Those are facts. Okay.
That
That's
was
wait, because you're really not going to like what I'm about to tell you. That's not correct. I misspoke. Your wages in 2023, let's start over. In 2022, your wages were almost $9,400 a month. In 2023, your wages are $11,569 a month. In 2024, Mr. Price, you're making over $13,000 a month. Okay.
that's
So you don't make $40 an hour, Mr. Price. You're either making some kind of large bonus at the end of the jobs, or you're making a lot of overtime. One of those things is happening.
Last year we had a lot of overtime because we were all shorthanded, the whole mill machines and all.
Mr. Price,
So-
that doesn't make any sense.
So-
Hold on, wait. No, you don't get to tell me to hold on, Mr. Price. I'm the judge. I get to tell you to hold on.
Yes, sir.
The problem is that either one of two things has happened. Either you don't understand how the math works, or you're just lying to me. I don't want to say that you're. I know you're not lying to me. Yeah, I know you're not lying to me. But you made a reference to last year. I don't care about last year right this very second.
Mhm.
You just told me that so far for the year of 2024, you've made over $42,000. That's over $13,000 a month gross. You weren't making a lot of overtime last year. You're still making a lot of overtime, a bunch of it.
We had to get people set in position to get
Okay.
trained. So that's why I was up.
Okay, so here's the problem though, Mr. Price. I can't base your child support on what you might be earning in September, October, November of this year. I have to base it on what you have been making.
Mhm.
Okay. That's the problem.
Mhm.
So there may come a point in time, and it may actually start on Monday, where all of your overtime drops. That might happen.
It already has.
Well, but not according to your paycheck stub.
Yeah.
Paycheck stub says you're still making a bunch of it.
Yeah.
And I have to base your child support on overtime. I have to. If you're making it, I gotta do it. And I can't stop the child support off your overtime just because you think, even though you have good information, that it's gonna stop. You're still earning it. I gotta set child support on. That's the law.
I thought the overtime wages, it only goes on disposal amounts.
Well, remember, the way I'm calculating your taxes, Mr. Price, you're going to get the overtime is taxed higher, right? We both know that.
Mhm.
So, but that tax is automatically broken into, calculated into my stuff. Okay. I mean, I do it that way. I calculate the tax based on your overtime as well. I know you do pay higher taxes on overtime. All right. Mr. Price, is there anything else that you think I need to know about this case before I make a ruling?
On a different note,
Uh-huh.
we had about 3 times last year during the summertime when it was time for me to get my month in the summer, and went to go pick my son up, and 3 times he never was there. Nobody come to the door.
All
So
right.
I got 3 different case numbers.
That's definitely a concern. Miss
And,
Limrick, that's not before me, but I'm going to ask, was there a period of time last summer where Mr. Price didn't get his contact rights with Kelvin?
One time, not
Okay,
not
one
several
time or
times.
3 times. Why didn't he get his contact rights with the child?
Because evidently there was a miscommunication because I keep contact with his sister and it was around Kelvin's birthday. And to my understanding, he was supposed to come get him on a Sunday. And
Mhm.
that's what I discussed with his sister.
Mhm.
And he come show up at the house with the cops on Saturday
Mhm.
while I'm supposed to be doing him a birthday party. But he sent me a text saying, I know you're gonna do something for his birthday,
Mhm.
but I just come get him Sunday. So
Okay.
I don't know what he was trying to do.
All right. Okay. Well, here's the wonderful thing about the court order that y'all both have in place. And I'm not saying that anything did happen or didn't happen, but that court order is very specific on when Mr. Price is supposed to exercise his contact and visitation rights. If you guys are going to do something that's not in the court order, then there's not a whole lot of anything a judge is going to be able to do to help you, Mr. Price. I would always encourage you and Miss Limbrick to work together on the visitation. But if that communication breaks down like it appears to have done in this case, then your only option is to fall back on the court order and follow the court order. Okay.
That's what we had originally fell back on because of the miscommunication and the time. So, at which I was supposed to have him from
Sure.
July the 1st until the end of July. His
How old is
birthday July the 2nd. So
Right.
that's why she was trying to throw a party, and I was like, well, okay, I give you the benefit of the doubt, if you're working with me.
Right.
Well, I ain't getting no text message, no call, so
Right.
I'm gonna go on what the court order says.
Anything further from the state?
No, Your Honor.
I may have already asked you this, Miss Limbrick. Is there anything else, Miss Limbrick, you think I need to know about this case before I make a ruling?
No, sir.
Mr. Price, is there anything else that you think I need to know about this case before I make a ruling?
No, sir.
I do appreciate y'all both being here today. Court's going to find the court's jurisdiction. The court's going to find, based on the testimony of the parties, there's certainly been a material and substantial change of circumstance. Mr. Price is making significantly more money now than he was in 2013, which is over 11 years ago, since this court order was originally established. I'm going to confirm the child support arrears, to watch the date closely, Ms. Brown-Zito, and find that as of March the 29th of 2024, Mr. Price is behind in child support the amount of $523.23. I'm going to order that to be paid back at a rate of $50 a month each and every month till it's paid in full, beginning May 1st. Mr. Price, to be really technical about the situation, you're probably not behind in child support. There's just a check that hadn't hit yet, but I'll confirm it. Just kind of watch your pay record online and make sure, but it'll catch itself up how you're paid. All right. But they did ask for it, and their pay record does show that you're still a one pay period behind, but it'll catch it up.
That was as of the first pay $50 beginning May 1st.
Yeah, May 1st.
Okay.
I'm going to confirm the child support findings according to Miss Vize, and I'm going to say it wrong no matter what I do, Miss Vize.
You okay, Judge? You are all right.
Just don't be offended. I'm going to confirm
No,
the
sir.
child support finding and set the child support as per the child support order that's currently in the file. However, the start date is going to be May the 1st of 2024. So confirm the court order with the new payment amount, but that's not going to start until May the 1st. Okay? Court cost October 31st of 2024. Ms. Brown Zito, does that take care of all the issues before me today in regard to this lawsuit?
I believe it does, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Limrick, Mr. Price, what's going to happen now is Ms. Brown Zito's office is going to change the court order that y'all have, the proposed order that y'all had tried to do. She's going to send it to me. If it matches what I ruled today, I'm going to sign it, get it back to them. Then they're going to make a copy of it and they're going to send it to each of you. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Now look, you ain't got to be satisfied with my ruling. If either party is dissatisfied with my ruling, you have 3 business days with which to file a notice of appeal with the district clerk's office in Jefferson County. Your appeal has to be specific. You have to state in your written appeal what part of my ruling you disagree with. You're also responsible for sending a copy of that written appeal to all the other non-appealing parties. All right, you'll both get a copy of the order once I sign it. I thank you for being here today. I thank you for your patience. Sometimes these hearings take a little longer than we wish, but I appreciate you both being here and being patient. You're both free to go.